welcome back to another exciting podcast episode of American Pylon. Your host here, Will Mehall, joined by my counterparts, James Thomas Fanning IV, Tyler Combs, and our producer, David Grayson, behind the tech, making all of this happen. We've got a pretty good amount of stuff to talk about tonight. Nothing that we really officially put down on our docket, but again, that sometimes makes for the most enjoyable discussions. Obviously, we have a huge game coming up here in our very own town, the Super Bowl. Going to be taking place at Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
The big game.
The big game. I don't know that we're technically allowed to call it the Super Bowl.
We said the S word last week. We got a cease and desist from NFL and Pepsi.
Yeah.
So that means we made it.
We were a real threat to all of their marketing ploys. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's actually a lot of stuff going on. And before we jump into that, I want to give a shout out to In We Go, because they have actually given us access to a lot of those events. So for just $30 a month, you get unlimited access to events in and around your city. It's now live in Phoenix, Denver, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, and the Tampa Bay area. So if you guys like going to brewery events, tours, concerts, comedy shows, all that kind of stuff, be sure to check them out at In We Go. And now if you plug in the promo code Pylon into the promo code box, you'll get $10 off that first month. So be sure to check them out.
It should be fun. There's a lot of good stuff going on.
There is a ton
what
of
else
stuff.
Will and I both went to what was called the Big Game Experience.
The Big Game Experience, yeah.
We went on different days.
It was at the Georgia World Congress Center, which is like, they usually host a bunch of like trade shows and stuff like that. I didn't really know what to expect going into it. I kind of had low expectations, if I'm honest. But
it's pretty well done.
It was really well done. We showed up, and we went on, what was that? I guess it was Saturday night. The girlfriend and I. Saturday. Took Marta down there, so didn't have to deal with the parking and everything, and walked in. We went through. They have like this big NFL shop. I was kind of hoping that they were going to sell more like team-specific gear there, but it was all pretty much Super Bowl branded. And then at the very end, they had
the mini helmets, the signed helmets.
Yeah, they had like a bunch of autographed memorabilia, which was really cool. And honestly, I was looking at some of that stuff, and I was like really tempted because they had a girly signed like mini helmet, and
not for that price.
For $150, yeah, it was a little steep.
It was pretty expensive. If there were any Georgia players that played for the Titans, besides Ben Jones, who we're probably about to release, I would pay $150 for that. I think that'd be cool. But I have a coworker whose birthday is tomorrow, and she's a big Saints fan. So I was like, "Oh, if they have a Drew Brees signed helmet, like that'd be a fun little gift for her." $295. Like,
it was more. Okay.
So,
they had a
sorry,
sign.
Robbie, happy birthday. Give you a shout out on American Pylon instead.
To me, autograph stuff like that is not worth the money.
Well, also that's why I like the physical helmet itself. Like I would never pay that much for just a flat sheet of paper with a signature.
Right,
yeah. But I think I hope to one day have a desk at home office situation, and I think it'd be fun to have like a mini helmet on there signed by like a Georgia great.
They had an autographed Drew Brees jersey in a frame with like matting and a photo, and which that was like $650. But when I thought about it, I was like, okay, well, jersey's already pretty expensive. When you look at like just buying a normal regular jersey, it's like $200.
Framing anything
is extremely expensive. So I was like, $650. I'm not a Drew Brees fan by any means, but I could see someone justifying that and being like, actually, this is not.
If you had the money and you were a big Saints fan, like put it in your man cave. Or
whatever. That would be pretty cool.
They also had a lot of stuff. It was kind of geared towards little kids a little bit.
I participated in all of it.
Did you really?
Oh yeah.
You could kick an extra point. You could do a 40-yard dash. They had the 3-cone drill. They basically had a mini combine. So you could do all the drills they do at the combine. They had like a little.
So you did the ladders, Will, and everything.
No, I should. Well, when I say everything, I didn't do that. So I did all of the kicking and throwing stuff because that was like. It was just kind of fun to see if you could kick the field goal and the extra
Tyler
point.
And I did that at the College Football Hall of Fame.
Is it even smaller than the College Football Hall of Fame? Is it? Cause the Hall of Fame has like
how
30
much
yards
space you have.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was way bigger overall than the College Football Hall of Fame.
I mean, the field area.
It was a similar spacing.
Yeah, I did the extra point. I think was 30 yards out.
Did you make it?
I hit the ceiling.
I saw a guy wearing a Titans jersey. That's why I stopped to watch him. There's 2 lanes of extra points, so they had them right next to each other, and he hit the worker with his back to him that was supervising the other lane over. So
My
the
girlfriend
ball
also
went
hit someone.
like that.
Oh,
It took like a 90-degree turn. It was pretty.
Yeah.
But I also saw they had the puppies that are going to be part of the Puppy Bowl. That's always at halftime.
I would've known
Where was that?
They
I
had
would've
those.
gone.
Yeah, it was in one of like the obstacle course areas, but they
That's
shut it
awesome.
down. They just had a bunch of puppies running around. So
That's awesome.
Well, that's cool.
That was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, and then they had like the official Wilson team there, which was cool. You could go and actually get a custom ball ordered, or you could get a replica of the Duke or a game ball made for you,
very
and they would
You could
make
get a-
it
you could
right
get a
there in front
ball
of you.
like stitched with your name or like American Pylon or something
What
on
did
it,
that
and it would
cost?
go from skin to ball in front of you. It was like a conveyor belt.
Yeah, a custom ball, all
I
set
didn't
and
look.
done, was like $300. But you could get like a replica game ball for $50,
Okay.
and then if you wanted like the real deal, it was like $100.
Have you ever held a replica
Yeah.
NFL
It's like
football?
Yeah, with two hands.
I can't hold it. I don't
With two hands.
It
They're
really
huge
makes
and
you.
they're so pumped up.
Yeah.
They're hard. And they also
Not-
had.
not for Tom Brady.
I want a koozie answering trivia. So here's college football trivia because they had a college football Hall of Fame section too.
Yeah.
What two college teams participate in the Bedlam series? Bedlam.
Bedlam. Is that in Texas?
It was multiple choice, but I'm pretty sure I would have got it without it.
Let's hear the multiple choice.
He only got through two, and I was like, "That's the right answer." But
Well,
so I'll just make them up.
Did you go-
Texas, Oklahoma, Washington, Washington State, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, or USC, UCLA?
Oklahoma, Oklahoma State.
That's Bedlam. That's like the way we have like the world's largest outdoor cocktail party and stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
Did you go up to see the Lombardi Trophy and the
So I saw all the Super Bowl rings. I had to wait in line like 40 minutes
for the Super Bowl rings? Really?
It was moving pretty slow, but I took a bunch of pictures. I have my cousin out in California is a big Raiders fan, so
Yeah.
I took a picture of all the Raiders ones.
Yep.
And then my dad and I actually went to Super Bowl 36, which was
Oh,
the last
yeah.
time
That's
the Rams played the Patriots. We were there. New Orleans, and so I didn't realize this about Super Bowl rings, but each ring is individualized to where it has the player's name on it. So every ring on display was actually donated by a player or coach.
Wow.
I didn't know
not
that.
donated.
I thought it was
They
just
get-
like a replica.
Well, they get it back, but it's the actual ring. So the Super Bowl
Wow.
36 Patriots ring was Tom Brady's ring. It said Brady on
Well, you
it.
know,
And
like-
I didn't know that they were
Super Bowl
donated.
4, I believe 4, Cowboys ring was Roger Staubach's.
Wow.
So it was pretty neat
You
to
know,
see
you
those
can get a
names.
lot of those rings. I think they give them out to like equipment managers and stuff.
Do they?
So the ones
Yeah.
that end up in like pawn shops are just
Well, they have names on them, so I mean,
Yeah,
obviously you can tell.
I took a bunch of those pictures too, and I guess, I mean, I saw the name. I figured that they were just replicas that then traveled around to these things. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, Manning, and it was
the fact that they
really
had
cool to see
names
that.
on
And
them,
pretty cool.
I took it to mean that it was the actual player's ring that they had, let them use, and then they're going to get back. So the Colts, Peyton Manning's one against the Bears was Tony Dungy's ring, so it was the coach's ring.
Dang, you're making me wish I kind of.
And then they had
gone to check that
they
out.
had they had Von Miller's ring,
Okay,
for
13,
the
51.
Broncos one because
Or
I took
50.
pictures of both of Peyton Manning's rings, even though neither of them were a Manning ring.
it was
His two
wild to
Super
see,
Bowls.
like, and how gaudy they have become over the years. Like the first one was just like
Yeah.
a simple one with a diamond in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And now it's basically like brass knuckles of diamonds.
It was pretty
It's
interesting.
insane.
It was about 2006 that all of a sudden I think it
when
was
it's sick.
I don't remember what it team like maybe one of the Steelers teams that won but there was one where it was like pretty because they were all right next to each other like visually you could see where somebody was just like we're gonna make this like ridiculously big
Yeah.
ring and then they never
Went
went
back.
backwards
Yeah,
from that.
it was cool too because they had a video screen like surrounding it as you walked around, and you would see, and it was showing you how they made the rings.
Yeah, they had
And, like, the
guy, like they were
presentations.
making a sword in Game of Thrones. They had like the
iron. And
yeah, that's
on
what it
on
was.
An anvil.
And
Yeah.
then they showed. I watched several of the Patriots just because they've won so many,
Right.
and that's where I was in line. But they showed like the ceremony where they reveal the rings. At,
Yeah.
I guess it's at Robert Kraft's house whenever the Patriots win it.
Okay.
They show highlights from the Super Bowl and
Yeah.
stuff. So I was in line when they showed the Patriots come back against the Falcons, and so many people were there were like, "Oh, I can't believe they're showing this in Atlanta."
It was cool when I was standing in line to see the Lombardi
Pretty
Trophy.
savage. Yeah,
That was,
so I saw that from a distance because I didn't want to wait in line
God.
again.
And we went at like a really good time because I didn't wait that long for the Super Bowl rings, and even to get up and get the picture taken with the Lombardi Trophy, it was maybe only like 30 minutes, but it was cool because they also had, for when you're waiting in line for this stuff, videos that are playing, and I love watching that kind of stuff where it's like it was talking about Jimmy Johnson and his time with the Cowboys, and it was just like it was kind of like a more historic version of a 30 for 30, and you could hear it. So it was like I was literally just sitting there watching like this awesome thing, and then by the time I got up there, I was like, wait, like I want to see how.
I don't want to go.
Like
That's
it's your
funny.
turn to see
I
the
also
trophy.
learned. Do you guys know what company makes the Lombardi Trophy? I thought this was pretty interesting.
Tiffany's.
Tiffany and Company.
I did learn this today, actually. I forgot about it because they were doing a trivia question of how, or not, I just named your price essentially of how much one of those cost if they were to sell it.
They were to just
like a Tiffany
melt
trophy?
it down and sell
the
it
Lombardi
as
trophy.
sterling silver.
No, just if
by
what
weight?
is it valued at if they were to sell it on the free market?
Probably millions.
No, I was surprised at this.
290.
10,000.
Okay, well, let me preface this reveal with the fact that Tiffany sells a pencil cup on their website for $100.
Yeah,
So that's why I'm
we all
going
know
Lombardi
what
into
trophy
Tiffany
is
is.
worth at least 7 pencil cups.
at least. I would have said at least $1 million.
it was $50,000.
That's really
dollars. Yeah, I was surprised. I was thinking in the 7-figure.
I wonder
neighborhood
who
also,
would
but-
have the authority to sell a Lombardi trophy. The
don't
team
think-
owner?
Yeah, I don't know,
Or-
and I also don't understand because this confuses me in college football. Also, like they have it on display in the College Football Hall of Fame, but they also have them in the.
This
in the
one was
locker room.
engraved.
And like, yeah, I just wonder how many do they make more than one? Truly, do they give the
Oh, I'm
team
sure.
one? Do they give to put in the locker room or the office or
I
whatever?
know,
Do they put one to travel with?
Orson Charles, former Georgia tight end, when he was on his official visit to Florida in, I guess, 2008, because he was our age, or my
Yeah,
age.
he
He dropped it and broke it.
Yeah.
And so whoever, maybe Tiffany's also, whoever makes that
Yeah.
with the old crystal ball before we had the college football playoff one.
Which was a cooler trophy,
They had to, I like the old crystal
Yeah.
ball better.
the coach's trophy.
They had to make another one because he
Yeah, I
dropped
remember that. I remember that.
it. And then he committed to Georgia.
I thought
He
the
had a
one-
lot of those throughout his career.
I thought the ones that they share like after the game are glass, like not valuable. Isn't the Stanley Cup that they like take around?
No,
to
that's the
city-
real deal.
That's the real one.
Yeah, there's only one Stanley Cup, and the way that the Stanley Cup works
Doesn't it
is
get past, like each player has 24 hours with it?
yeah, so they each get to spend 24 hours or something. I think Ovechkin might have had it longer, but those rings,
Classic Penguin.
as you see, like those rings are not all of the rings that has been on there throughout the year. So they'll take a ring off and then put a new one on because you know how it's like tiered.
Sure.
Yeah.
So and then they put those in the Hall of Fame because there's just not enough names,
Sure.
like room for the names. So it'll always stay the same size, but not always the same pieces. But there is only one cup, and there's actually a guy. I don't know how
pretty
this
cool.
works
It is
for.
I think that's neat.
I don't know how it works for other sports, but there's actually one guy, and his entire job is to spend every waking moment with the Stanley Cup. So anytime it travels, he's with the cup. Anytime, yeah,
Probably,
it's like
probably Stanley. That's probably who it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
Lord Stanley.
Yeah,
he's
that's
the meaning of
he's
trophy wife.
had a good long
married to
run.
it.
Yeah.
But there's also some other things that were going on around these festivities. They have a big like brunch thing, which is going on
Day of on Sunday, bottomless mimosas.
Sunday.
And there's going to be
yeah.
tables from a bunch of brunch places in
which is going to be
Atlanta.
awesome. And then there's also a brewery fest. Is that associated with the Super Bowl at all?
No, it's just the Atlanta Beer
Just
Fest.
great
You
timing.
and I went to basically the same thing in Brookhaven in June.
Okay.
They're just trying to time it with all the.
Well, it worked well.
I think so.
influx of
Yeah,
folks.
and then tomorrow night, today's Wednesday.
Yeah, the show.
Will and I and a few other people are going to the Lil Jon, Migos, and Ludacris concert. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking
21
forward to
Savage
that.
will also be there.
21 Savage, Lil Baby is going to be there.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know either, but listener Cole Erickson keeps talking about it.
See,
so-
but what I wish, and I understand why this isn't on the service, is the Friday night show is actually Aerosmith.
Well, that one's sold out.
Right.
So,
That's what
yeah.
I'm saying. It's Aerosmith and
Post
Post
Malone.
Malone. And then the other one, there was another one that was
Saturday's Bruno Mars and Cardi B.
couldn't care less about Cardi B, but it would be cool to see Bruno
Bruno
Mars.
Mars would be cool.
I love Cardi B. She's
I
awesome.
hate Cardi B.
No.
This tells you how backwards
I'm-
Jimmy's music taste is.
What is wrong with you?
I want to go to that
all
concert.
alone.
Myself and
You'd rather see Cardi
listener
B than
Jessica
Bruno
Murillo
Mars.
are. I would see them
Girlfriend.
both together. It's
No,
the
if you
same-
had to choose, if they were two
it's-
separate shows right
it's
next
the
to each
same,
other, and I was going to
Well,
hand
I would
you
rather
tickets.
see Bruno Mars, but I would rather see them in the same. So
No.
Jess and I are keeping an eye on those tickets. We're going to try and go Saturday night.
Give me Bruno Mars and JT and that.
Well, yeah, that would be
yeah.
awesome. But I mean, we're not talking about dream scenarios. We're
Speaking
talking about
of
actual
music,
concerts, that are
speaking
I
of
could tie an
music.
anchor to Cardi B's ankles and just.
Who is it?
Let it
That's the halftime. It's Maroon 5, right? And somebody
I'm
else?
thinking Tyga, and there's a rumor that they're gonna perform "Sweet Victory," the SpongeBob SquarePants song.
No
Remember that
way.
episode where SpongeBob's in a
It's
band?
not gonna
and
happen.
Vividly.
they released a promo video, and SpongeBob was like in it.
I heard about
in
that.
his band uniform.
There's also going to be, is it Big Boy or Andre 2000? One of them is also
3000.
performing. Andre 2000.
Yeah, you said 2000. I thought
You like Cardi B.
I do like Cardi B.
Anyway, but yeah. So I think they're
Cardi
having some
B is
Georgia
better
flavor.
than Nicki Minaj. You can at me if you disagree.
Thank you. That's right. Give it to him.
There's our studio audience, rascals.
I heard
Yeah,
Imagine
so-
Dragons is coming back.
No, boo.
I thought
I need
they
to like
did
see a
okay.
replay of that
Maroon
because
5
I didn't
is-
see
I think
it.
Maroon 5 is a lame choice for the halftime
I
show.
agree.
I think they
dude.
could have done.
I saw them in concert.
I'm sure they're
I'm
great,
sure they're good
but I
concert.
think that we really could have showcased Atlanta music, but the NFL was worried about any rappers getting up there and trying to do something political. So they were like, "Who is the most just like vanilla whitewashed band we can get?"
I completely
They landed
agree.
on Maroon 5.
I agree that that's probably
They
why that
probably
happened.
wanted Imagine Dragons, but they just
Why
played
did
the
they?
national
Why did they
championship.
skip over Train or Weezer?
Dude, I think
I feel like Weezer's got some political opinions.
well, I'm sure, but I think the halftime show, I think they always are best when it's like a classic rock or something like that. Like when Bruce Springsteen, I mean, Bruno
Yeah.
Mars had a hell of a show, but when,
Bruno Mars was the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, I enjoyed
We
it.
but
watched
like when
that
Bruce
at Janet
Springsteen went out
Jackson,
there,
Alex
U2,
D'Agostino's apartment.
Aerosmith has done it. I mean, I just think that like a rock concert always looks better on TV and is more entertaining to me. Like I'm more likely to actually sit there and watch through it because a lot of the times when it's like
Black Eyed Peas.
Black
The
Eyed
worst one
Peas
in
featuring
history.
Slash from Guns N' Roses.
Is that it feature Guns N' Roses?
Yeah.
That's a joke.
it was bizarre.
I got lucky in 2002. So it was February 2002. I went to the Super Bowl with my dad in New Orleans, which was the Rams Patriots, and Paul McCartney of the Beatles sang the national anthem, and U2 was the halftime show.
That's awesome.
pretty cool.
So I lucked out on that.
Yeah, that's a big
11-year-old
event.
me didn't have a clue.
Couldn't appreciate it.
Yeah, it was pretty neat though to look back on.
But yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I guess I didn't really fathom everything that came along with the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
For me, it's just like you're excited about the big game. You've got probably a tailgate, maybe at your house or whatever. But I didn't realize like all of the other stuff that came into town for it. So
Sure.
it's kind of neat to take advantage
it's crazy.
of it.
So I assumed that with the Super Bowl being obviously the stadium seats 84,000, whatever it is, that there would be 84,000 people coming.
Yeah, I thought the same.
And I've seen on Twitter and stuff that the city of Atlanta is expecting something like 400, 500,000 visitors.
Oh, I've heard more than that. I heard like in the millions.
Really?
More. It's
Which
what I've
to
heard.
me is insane. Like if next year the Super Bowl was in like Dallas, to be like, hey, like my team's not playing in it. Let's just go to Dallas and
Yeah.
enjoy it and not go to the Super Bowl and
Yeah.
come home. Like that's crazy to me.
I agree. I thought the same thing. I kept thinking, where's this wild number coming from? Because only so many folks can fit into the stadium. Not only that, it's the it is the pinnacle of sporting events to even attend because of how expensive it is and how rare tickets are. How many people can actually come and go to the game?
Well, it was interesting because when I was at the big game experience, I was like standing in line for, I don't know if it was some event. It might have been one of the kicking thing or something. And this guy was talking to his friend that he was with. And he's like, yeah, man, just like got those tickets, my wife and I, for the game. And the guy was asking him like, where are you sitting? He's like, yeah, we're kind of like upper in the end zone, but that's $9,000 I won't get back. And I was like, oh my God.
See, that's a lot.
How could you possibly justify that to yourself? I mean,
if you're a big enough NFL guy to where just going to the game itself is a bucket list and it's in your city so you don't have to pay for a flight and a hotel.
so it's
I
basically like
kinda see it.
the national championship where in Georgia was here. Would you have paid $9,000?
No, I wouldn't have.
Would you pay $4,500 for yourself?
No, but I mean, I guess I see.
I guess you have to look at it. I'm
Someone
with you. I
doing
mean,
it.
I would pay. Like,
I would pay
Jimmy
that
and I-
much to go to Patagonia and then Antarctica. I mean, like, which
Yeah,
is
but you're talking about
you're getting a
I
lot
know,
more.
I know, but
You're
I'm
leaving
not,
your city, number
I'm
one.
not here to judge people for what their hobbies are and how they spend their money. So
No, I don't think that. I just think no matter who you are, that at least for the common folk and common fan, I guess who pulls the team.
those peasant listeners.
That,
that
well,
we
it
have,
is.
not
That's
us.
the majority of it. Even for college football, more people can afford that game than the NFL. That is just such a large portion of your income to spend towards a ticket.
It'd be interesting to see like what you would have to make in terms of yearly income to be the same type of portion as a $1,500 national championship ticket would be for us.
You would have to make 6 times more.
So what that would be, well, 6 times more depending upon like, so you'd have to make,
Well, just the ratio of
Math-
1,500 to
math aside.
9,000 is 6.
well, I guess like what the minimum threshold would be for somebody who is like able to justify that. So like not you or I or Tyler specifically. You know what I'm saying? Like the lowest common denominator of somebody who's willing to justify that pay.
Yeah, I would $300,000 a year.
Yeah, it'd have to be north of just at 6.
I don't think you would have
Figures.
to actually make 6 times more to be able to justify spending
No.
6 times more on a ticket.
I would
'Cause
just be interested to
I feel
know
like at a
what the
certain
lowest
point,
income.
your fun money starts to grow. Like life only costs so much money. So at a certain point, the more money you make, the more you have to spend. It's
Yeah.
like exponential.
Logarithmic.
I don't know.
But that's to me.
I take pills out of a big bottle and put them in a little bottle for a living. So
Yeah, to me, I just
this is more in y'all's wheelhouse.
I could never look at that. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. No matter how much I made, I'm sure at some point I would be like, yeah, whatever. But I don't know that like there's ever a point in my life where I could justify spending that much money.
So here's a question. I think so that is ridiculous.
On one
what
ticket.
that guy's saying. And
Now,
that guy
maybe if it
that
was-
guy was neither a Rams nor a Patriots fan.
he wasn't wearing. I mean, who
Because
knows?
here's
He wasn't
a
wearing a
question.
jersey.
How
He
about
wasn't.
how about the Bears had gone all the way this year, and your dad called you and he was like, "You, me, and your brother John, who we've had on the podcast, we got to go to this Bear." Like, I personally, and the Titans are such a maligned franchise.
Let me put it this way: when the Bears played the Colts,
Yeah,
even if I was living in Indiana, where I don't remember where that Super Bowl is actually. If I was living in that city, and it
I don't
cut out
remember
all
where
the
it was. I think it was
costs,
in Miami.
it cut out all the cost of travel and lodging and everything. I still don't think I could justify watching the two teams that I grew up watching and Peyton Manning being probably my favorite player. I don't think that I could justify that kind of an expense.
Really? See, maybe because the Titans have only been once, and we struggle as a franchise, so I don't know when we'd ever get back. But if the Titans had gone this year, it's a pretty high price point that I would have paid to see that game with my dad. If my dad had said, "I'm not going to do it for whatever reason," then my price point would have fallen pretty significantly. But if he had called me and been like, I want to go to this game, we need to go to this game together, and the Titans were in it, I would. That's where I could justify that ridiculous price tag.
Do you think, and maybe this is just like a pretty straightforward, clean-cut answer for you, does that Super Bowl experience of does that trump all other experiences you'd be willing to pay for like an extreme sporting event?
With him, because that's our common team. I mean, he's a Georgia guy because I went to Georgia,
Right.
but he's not going to drop $1,500, $2,000
That's
on
true.
a Georgia national championship.
But that's a good point. I think saying that you were seeing it with your dad, like a team you grew up watching, going to games together, that's a good point. Because that's a memory you'll always have. I mean, the fact that because you went with your dad to the Super Bowl when the Rams were in the Patriots,
Yeah,
right?
and at
that's
that time,
incredible. to me.
That was just a corporate ticket because my dad was in retail, so we got tickets through Reebok, who is based out of New England.
Yeah.
So it was still a really cool experience.
That's just an amazing thing to be able to
say. We were
say,
pretty
though.
neutral fans there, but it was fun. We were rooting for the Rams.
Yeah,
but
that's an incredible thing. I mean, because there are obviously like diehard fans that would do anything to get to a Super Bowl. That, like the vast majority will never ever see that, which is incredible to
kind
think
of
about.
BS when you think about it. There's 11-year-old me that doesn't have
Yeah.
a clue just because my
Well,
dad was a
that's every
higher up in
sporting
some
event.
company
Yeah,
and got a corporate
that's true.
ticket.
That's every game, every regular
Yeah.
season game. There's someone saying that girl, that kid, that man, that whatever gets to go over me. I consider myself a bigger fan.
Do you remember it would have been opening day for the Braves 2011. We went with Brent Johnson to we sat in his dad's Brave seats for the home opener. And so they were right along the first baseline behind the Braves
Was
dugout.
this when we were in college?
Yeah, we were in college. This is
Yeah.
when we lived in Town Club. So basically only Brent is going to understand this reference. But anyways, we're at the home opener for the Braves. His dad had really good seats that he gave to us.
Like a few rows up.
Yeah, like 4 rows
Yeah.
up. But in the first row, there was a dad and his daughter. She was probably like 6 years old, so she's at the game. She didn't have a clue how good these seats are, how valuable they are. And it was the week after the Masters 2011, and she's wearing a little pink Masters 2011 hat.
She made a
so it's like this girl has been,
got her that.
maybe
But
he got it for her, but at the time I remember being like, man, this girl went to the Masters, and now she's at the Braves home opener and just doesn't have a clue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully that's a life that we can all provide
good for her
our,
dad.
Not my life,
our
but I'm
kids if we ever have them, that we could
The American
maybe
dream.
be able to do that. That's pretty awesome though.
Kind of went on a tangent there.
Hey, yeah, like I said, we
cool.
don't have a
That's the
whole lot
best
on the
episodes.
docket,
That's
so
why we're here.
That's why we're talking about it. But let's talk a little bit about the game. I'm going to be honest, I don't follow either of these two franchises
None of us do.
extremely closely during the regular season. All I know is we've got, well, no matter what happens, a dog's going to win a ring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
pretty cool.
really exciting. And it was
We
pretty
got-
cool to hear this week about Belichick giving Kirby's program props.
Yeah.
And what they were talking about
Yeah,
there.
that was neither Tyler or I have a very strong presence on social media, but from what we've been hearing through the grapevine, there's been a lot of love given to Georgia as RBU this week, which is pretty cool because I mean you got Sony on the Patriots, you got Tud on the Rams, and then you got Nick Chubb potentially. Did they already give out the awards?
I don't think they have yet.
Okay.
But potentially
up there
Rookie of the
as
Year.
potentially winning Rookie of the Year.
That'd be
So,
incredible.
They haven't yet, actually, because Saquon Barkley was quoted today saying they know who to vote for.
Nick Chubb.
He thought himself. But no, it's been a good year for the Dogs. And then to that point, it's fun, having the big game, the Super Bowl, in our backyard, and then having two great Georgia running backs in recent memory be the feature backfield, I guess, for each team. And then both are getting a chance to win a ring, and it's a couple of miles on the road from where they went to college. It's
That's
right
what's
here.
really cool.
It's right here, a little mini homecoming for both, and it's just how much good exposure is it for UGA? It's huge. And then Bill Belichick's praise of Kirby and how he runs the program there in Athens. I mean, it's just, for recruiting wise, this is huge. I mean, if either one of those guys has a big game, I mean, I'm hoping. I don't want the Patriots to win, but I'm hoping both guys have just huge ground games. Now, granted, I know it's going to be all about Brady and everything to that effect, but that to me is just...
Yeah, to me, the ultimate game would
Georgia,
be like a 31-28 where like Todd and Sony both have like 3 touchdowns each, and then the Rams win by a field goal.
a little bit, yeah.
That's what I would...
That would look...
Like when Meek Wilson has a pick 6 or something. That'd be cool.
And David
He's
Andrews...
a former Georgia linebacker that plays for the Rams.
Yeah, and then David Andrews is the center for the Patriots is also a Dog. So
Fun fact, sat next to him at Athens Church one time.
there you go. I think I was at the pool with him at the station one
There
time.
you go.
So
All right.
that's it.
So Tyler and I are potentially getting rings. We're gonna have to. We've been told that the equipment
That's
guys
what that
get rings.
What's up, David? I know you remember me.
We're gonna have our intern look into that.
Yeah, but
Reach out to Bill.
super exciting for UGA just in that regard. Maybe we're have that lens on it just because obviously we're down here, we're big Dogs fans, but there just seems to be a lot of Georgia narrative with Todd rolling up with the Georgia hoodie, wearing his Georgia bracelet. People seem to keep gearing questions towards where they went to school. Regardless of if you're a Georgia fan or not, I think it's definitely something the media can pinpoint, saying, look at the 2 feature backs here. A rookie of the year, Todd Gurley, and then Sonny Michel, who I think is already tied for 5th or 6th in touchdowns in the postseason.
Yeah, I saw that.
As a running back.
Career postseason touchdowns. He's got 5.
He's tied with like the number 6 or 7 or 5th person or whatever it is. So if he gets 3 in the Super Bowl, which is a big feat, but if he were to get 3, I think he shoots to like number 4. As
long as Brady is unretired, the Patriots are pretty much locked to make the postseason each year. So, you got to imagine at least the one more, unless Brady, wins the Super Bowl and just, goes out with the sunset or whatever.
Sure.
I would imagine the Patriots will be back in the postseason at least for one game next year.
So Sony will have a good shot at really
Sony will get the rock.
implanting himself as a postseason great.
So that's pretty excited. So who we got? Just straight up.
Straight up.
Yeah, I think we have the same pick.
Yeah,
you're like, ugh.
I want the Rams to win, but if you're a betting man like our friend Derek, the safe money's with the Patriots. It always has been. They open the season
the Patriots
as the favorites. I'm with Will. I don't follow. I'm a big football fan. I love watching it. I don't follow the NFL enough to know in grainier detail like I do college football, more specifically the SEC in Georgia. So I can't really give a good informed opinion on the game, but I don't know if Todd Gurley did not look great in the last game. They kind of relied on C.J. Anderson.
Yeah,
there's enough to be. Is he truly injured? Is it really about the flow of the game, like Sean McVay said?
No,
I don't think so either.
It'll be how much he can come back. From
exactly,
that.
and they're not going to point out injury.
In no world is a healthy Todd Gurley less valuable than a healthy C.J.
I
Anderson.
totally agree. So that worries me a little bit. And then you just look at Brady and the Patriots and the organization and Bill Belichick and the pedigree. That's just...
I think Belichick's thing, the thing that he's always done is he has a defensive background and he kind of schemes against the other team's offense to take away he takes away their best thing that they do, which kind of, I think if you trickle down far enough, like Saban has been part of that trade and then Kirby came from Saban. So the same thing Georgia kind of does is you take away their best thing and you make them play left-handed.
Sure.
And so, to me,
Jared Goff throwing
is the thing that you want to take away or make them do.
Make them do.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Is take away the run game and make Jared Goff beat you through the air.
Yeah.
And see if Sean McVay's system is so not that Jared Goff sucks or is an idiot or anything, but there's a lot of people out there that think. Well, I was going to say, sorry, I didn't finish that thought. But see if McVay's system is so, for lack of a better word, idiot-proof.
Yeah.
That Goff can truly put a team on his back in the Super Bowl on the big stage against theoretically the best team that the other conference has to offer. And I don't know. We've seen him put together some pretty mediocre games when the run game was not clicking.
That's true. Yeah, they've kind of. It feels like they've kind of cooled off of late, which is it's wild. If you look back to the conference championship games 2 weeks ago, before the Pro Bowl here this past weekend. Those were they say defense wins championships. The 4 highest scoring teams in the league were the last 4 playing.
It's kind of it's an interesting year for
it's just
for football.
So these are successful offensive teams now, right? And defensive. I mean, the Rams have a pretty potent defensive line for sure, and some good linebackers. I guess, If, you can never count the Patriots out. It's almost like Alabama. You saw the Falcons saw it. I mean, they're so well coached. Even if the Rams get up with a big special teams play or a turnover, can you ever truly count the organization out? No, you can't. So it's just
28-3.
It's going to be a watchable game no matter what. Now, we all hope for a good game. I hope to God it is. I mean, it would be fun to watch the Patriots get squashed, but as a neutral fan, truly. I don't want that Super Bowl we had with the Seahawks Broncos. I think was
48
it. Oh my God, that was amazing. It was over in the first quarter.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
The first snap of the game was a safety over Peyton's head.
I don't remember that starting play, but I don't want that as much as I don't really want the Patriots to win. And Tom Brady get another one. As fun as it is to watch him and have him in our lifetime. I don't. It's like Bama. I don't want anything else to help boost their success. They don't need any more of that.
Yeah, I feel like Tom Brady has already cemented his legacy as realistically the GOAT as far as NFL quarterbacks go. So he's fine.
I fought that too.
It's time for a new era.
When Peyton was playing, I fought that, and I felt like the way Peyton kind of left kind of tainted it for me. Not that it was tainted or tarnished. He's still a great quarterback, but the way he kind of left out. Even with the Super Bowl with the Broncos, kind of noodle-arming and not really controlling games anymore. It was more of a heavy defense. I was kind of like, okay, I'll give that nod to Brady here because look how long he's doing it and how consistent it is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I would put Brady over Manning, all things considered, when you look at their careers. I think it would be I would love to see a parallel universe where Manning got drafted to the Patriots and gets to work with Bill Belichick and gets to have that roster management and gets to
that'd be fun
do
to
stuff
watch.
like that. I think it'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah,
But
love Peyton though, good guy.
Yeah, I like Peyton.
Shout out to you, Peyton. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, Peyton's a listener.
Also,
Peyton is still a top 10 boys name in Knox County every year since 1998.
Doesn't surprise me. Also, now that we're thinking about listeners and the big footprint that American Pylon here that we've created, I'm kind of disappointed, Dave. I don't know who this falls on, but we really didn't push for press passes or anything for the Super Bowl being in town. We kind of pulled a barstool and kind of either faked the press passes or maybe applied. I don't know how that works.
I walked by a few different things that were credentialed only at the big game experience, and I was like, man, we should have. Just whipped up some press passes and American Pylon.
One of you guys needs to just go to Michael's, get some construction paper.
I just want to throw we need to make a what do you call it? Just something to throw over a table and just have our logo on it and boom, just set up right outside. But
just show up.
Gronk. Hey, a quick question. Where's the best place to party in Boston? I don't know, or something stupid that Gronk would answer. Which I didn't realize he played at Arizona.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
I didn't know that either.
Tight ends are funny. Gronk, even Travis Kelce, never, in my opinion, lit it up in college and are absolutely great tight ends.
Yeah,
and party guys and white.
Tight ends don't.
In college. I don't mean that
tight
racially.
Ends,
I just think it's funny.
There's not a ton of elite tight ends when you think of them that came from powerhouse schools.
Yeah.
O.J. Howard got drafted real high recently out of Alabama.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's done a ton for the Bucs.
Ben Watson, he's an ageless wonder out of Georgia, plays with the Saints, but
he's
still,
he's done. His career's over. He said in the middle of this year that he was going to retire after this year.
Tony Gonzalez, Dallas Clark even went to Tennessee. I don't remember Dallas Clark being super memorable.
He was
at
the
Tennessee.
69th overall pick.
There you go, Dallas.
There you go.
That a boy.
Shout out Dallas Cowboys. I remember seeing that graphic because they you know what? Not Dallas Clark. Jason Witten. Is who you're thinking of.
Okay.
Went to Tennessee.
Okay, yes, you're right. Yes. I'm thinking Dallas Clark played for Peyton Manning in Indianapolis.
That is correct.
I'm mixing all that all kind of
But
ways.
Jason Witten for the Cowboys.
Yeah, okay.
I saw that when I was at the Cowboys Stadium for that game with degenerate gambler Eric.
Nice.
We're children at heart.
Speaking of degenerate gambling, have you guys taken a look at some of the prop bets?
No, I saw you scrolling through them, but I can't really read them on your screen.
Jump on board here.
Let me guess. How long is the national anthem? Is that one?
You can usually bet on that. Who's singing it?
Gladys Knight.
Gladys
from Atlanta.
Is she bringing the pimps with her?
Is that like Gladys Knight's fried chicken or whatever the heck it is?
Uh-huh.
I know I'm butchering that.
Yeah.
People are going to be embarrassed by me saying.
Yeah, that's her restaurant.
It's an iconic. What's it called? Let me know.
I don't know. I don't know that she operates it anymore. I think she has.
She's got people.
Her son, maybe, I think that runs it or something now. But yeah, there's a lot of. I don't know. I guess I always knew that this was a part of it, but I never really
hit us with some.
looked at it. So, will any scoring drives take less time than it takes Gladys Knight to sing the national anthem?
Oh, that one's pretty multi.
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Okay.
She's
There'll be
going
a-
to take like a minute and 45 seconds.
Yeah, that's her. Like that's the thing.
What are the odds on that?
The
though?
national anthem is someone's moment to shine, right? So they're going to at least, I feel like, extend it as long as they can within a reasonable amount of time, right?
Dang, so it's only,
You
to
have to-
bet yes is only minus 110. So that means they think she's going to take her sweet time singing the national anthem.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that little girl sing before the soccer game?
Yes, before the MLS Cup.
No.
Yeah,
The little Asian girl.
Did she crush it?
Yeah.
Oh, she was amazing.
For her age, it
This
was.
is not
She's-
coming
she
to
sang
mind.
the national anthem before an LA Galaxy game this year, and what kind of went viral. And then
Okay.
she sang it
I missed that.
for the MLS Cup.
Quick touch on MLS for Atlanta United fans. Miguel Almiron
Oh yeah, R.I.P.
just got traded to
He wasn't
Newcastle.
traded; he was sold.
Well, yeah. He's off
To be
New-
speaking in MLS terms,
to
which
New-
seems outdated and offensive, but okay.
He's off to Newcastle, which is a team in England, for $27 million casual. Mm-hmm. So
They also make beer.
Newcastle,
Right?
yeah,
Newcastle Brown Ale?
I don't think that's the same organization. I know we were asking $30 million for him.
Organization.
We settled for a mere $27 million, and if I'm not mistaken, I want to say I think it's the biggest transfer from MLS to EPL.
Really?
I think.
Of all time?
I think from MLS to EPL.
What was the-
It's
what was the
usually,
number?
huh?
What was the number?
27 million.
27 million.
Oh my. I'm sorry. I'm just looking
If
at
I
these.
walked into work tomorrow and they were
these
like, "We
bets,
sold you
David.
to another pharmacy
Oh, I
for
thought-
$27 million," I'd be like, "All right."
Yeah, I told that
Later.
to my boss. I was like, "Dang, I wish someone come get me for 27 million." He's like, "You're not
Seriously.
worth 27 million."
Yeah.
He put me in my place real quick. That's fine. Anyway, that's a little MLS side. But what
We
are
got
some
any-
other bets?
Any other?
What
prop
will
bets?
be the predominant color of Adam Levine's top at the start of the halftime show?
Black.
Black, or
Purple.
any other,
Maroon
or any
five.
other
Maroon,
color.
Yeah.
Black. With a big purple accent.
Will a non-quarterback throw a touchdown?
No.
No.
How
Yes.
Todd Gurley's done it before.
Nick Foles caught a touchdown last year. I think Zach Ertz
Philly
caught
special.
it. They caught the Philly special.
Is there going to be a flea flicker?
They
No.
Tom Brady. They did that last game. 2 weeks
Not
ago.
a flea flicker. I would bet on Jared Goff catching a touchdown before I would bet on Tom Brady catching a touchdown.
Well, they did try that versus Atlanta. 2 years ago now. Remember, I don't know if you recall, they had Tom Brady roll out and they threw the ball to him and he bobbled it.
That was last year.
Was that
against the
last year?
Eagles. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I had that backwards. Excuse me.
Yeah, because Philly ran the same play later in the game.
Yeah.
Literally the exact same play for a touchdown on fourth down.
Yeah. Do better. Tom
How
Brady.
long is it going to take Gladys Knight to sing the national anthem? Over a minute 47 or under?
I'll take the
Over.
over. The over just based on the fact that the
Yeah.
prop bet for the scoring drive being longer
Right.
than the national anthem is so lucrative to bet yes.
Yeah,
To bet no.
that's interesting. What will Tony Romo be doing at the start of
Bet
the
no.
2019 NFL season?
Announcing.
Yeah. Commentating.
What's the options? Like I don't.
TV analyst playing in the NFL, coaching as an offensive coordinator or coaching as a defensive coordinator?
Oh my
he'll
God,
be
TV
announcing.
analyst. He makes
He'll be
$10 million
announcing.
a year to sit in a booth for 3 hours
He's
a
good
week.
at it too. Did
Are
you
you
hear?
kidding me? Why would he ever leave
Did
that?
you hear? Well, hey, John,
that's
John
why you're not
Gruden did
getting
it.
a payout.
John Gruden did it. Did you
Well,
hear about T.O.'s comments about what's his nuts? Tony Romo.
No.
He was
What'd
basically saying
Did
like
he cry and say that's my quarterback?
basically saying, I think it was T.O. He was saying that that looks impressive up there, but when the bullets start flying, you have to make an accurate throw. It's a hell of a lot different than trying to diagnose a play from up in the booth. And it's like,
Yeah, no
why
shit.
are you ripping apart your old quarterback who is obviously super smart?
Duh.
That's also
and-
common sense.
And not
Yeah.
a bad quarterback, but he was
It's
just
a lot
kinda-
harder to watch the game than it is to play
It
it.
sounded a little more jealous.
Really?
In the clip that I heard, it
What
was
an
more.
idiot.
It was just more of like, yeah, y'all were keep giving him all these kudos and comments for being so great, but like he's not that smart a football guy.
Let's not forget that Terrell Owens was also the high school prospect that signed with UT Chattanooga and got on campus, and his first words were, "Where's the orange?" He thought he had signed with Tennessee.
No, he did not.
That's the rumor. I've heard that since I was
Probably true.
in fourth grade. I did grow up in Knoxville, so maybe that's salty Tennessee fans saying that he should have come to UT.
What a
but
dumb thing
for
for
a
him to
talent
say.
like that to go to, what was at the time I think like a Division II school, now is a like a Sunbelt school.
Did y'all see that Facebook stuff where Romo was making these calls in the game and everything he was talking about kind of developed?
Yeah.
Be like,
he's been
like
doing
every
that for
time.
2 years.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Someone put them all back to back, and I was just sitting there. I was
That's
like,
the thing. The prop bet says that he should be an offensive coordinator. It seems like he should be a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, no
or
kidding.
at least a defensive analyst or consultant. And
it's
just
incredible.
Be like in
Like
the middle
Butch Jones?
linebacker's ear.
They need to get rid of
before-
Joe Buck and just have him on every game.
Thank God. Yes, I would be down
Dude,
with
I
Joe
love
Buck.
listening to Tony
Oh,
Romo.
I bet you they get rid of Jason Witten and put him on
Yeah.
Monday Night
Well,
Football.
there's
before too
terrible
long. Jason
chemistry
Witten
on that.
is awful. Oh my gosh.
Isn't it him and Booger McFarland?
Booger is
a
on the
sideline
sideline
guy.
in the Booger mobile.
He's in
and then
the-
he's with
yeah.
Tessa Terrari or something.
I don't know. I
Terrari?
just remember those
Terrari?
two like trying to carry on an analysis, and it was just like Booger would just be like, "Shut up! Like, don't say that." It was bizarre.
awful.
Yeah, my favorite combo
The Monday
was-
night games that I watched this year were such a mess.
I always liked Mike Tirico and John Gruden together. I thought they were pretty fun. They were a good balance.
Yeah, I
And
liked-
John Gruden
I
was
liked
always
John
kind of
Gruden.
crazy and just
That's but that's
I like-
kind of what
I
I
like,
like about
uh,
Tony Romo.
I like Kevin
because
Harlan
He's
as
very
an announcer.
animated.
yeah.
He's always hoarse. He's always hoarse like after halftime.
Oh,
he's
I
like
don't
so
know, it's
riled
so
up.
close.
Well, I just love hearing him be like, "Oh, see here, he's saying lip rip. That means this is this. He's checking down to a blah blah blah. It's gonna be
I
a slant.
love that.
Slant. I'm like, what the hell?
Dude, I remember watching that, and he scored it, and he goes, "This is definitely going to be a rollout right to like
The tight end or
yeah, or
something, yeah.
whatever." And it was a scoring play, and I don't remember who else was with him, who was the play-by-play guy, but they were like, "Tony, that is remarkable." And he goes,
Yeah.
"Well, you don't stick so and so on the line if you're not going to run a rollout pass to this guy." And it was just like, "Yeah, of
Dude,
course."
yeah, seriously.
I
Get
was
it,
like, "What?"
Get on the defensive coordinator's ear and just be like,
That's what, there's a lot of times where Tyler and I are sitting at home watching football and we'll say something and then immediately the announcer will say something and we're like, man, we could do this job, but I don't think we could do Tony Romo's job.
Hell no.
He's pretty good at his job.
well, the hard thing is, we could probably do it better for one of our teams that we know other people.
Yeah.
Imagine having to be that up on any
very
given
true
game.
Yeah, it is funny because we give them flack, right? When we watch them for like college games for our own teams, they'll be like, "Oh, and here is Jack Fram." It's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like,
Vern Lundquist
we
was
rip
the
him apart.
worst about that.
I was like, what, Jake Fromm? Is that who you're talking about? It was just like, how the hell do you get a week or more to prepare for the CBS game and you botch it that hard? It makes you wonder how. But yeah, to David's
Seems like
point,
every year Roger Goodell manages to mispronounce a first-round pick's name.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, there's 32 first-round picks, so there's maybe 65 guys that are realistically could be first-round picks. Mm-hmm. You should probably learn to pronounce like
their names.
Tua's name before it's draft day. Like
In
they
his
should sit
defense,
you
that's
down
the
with-
hardest name to
Well,
pronounce.
should sit him down with he makes $60 million a year or whatever. It's
Does
like,
he?
He makes like an insane amount of money.
I know he
I'll find
lives
his
in-
salary.
I think it's 40.
I know he lives
Is
in
it 40?
Bronxville.
But it's like
New
he
York.
should.
Probably not a bad job. Did
but
you hear him
he
come
should
out?
sit down with like a Hawaiian language pathologist and be like, Tua
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa. Just learn how to say it.
Did you hear he came out and made
He
his
made
first
$31
statement?
million in 2016.
Made his first statement in regards to the egregious pass interference that was missed.
I know he had
What did he
announced
say?
the union
Sucks
or
to suck,
addressed the
Saints?
state or addressed the league today, but what did he say?
He basically just came out and said that
State of the league.
Whatever it was. State of the union address for the NFL.
he came out and basically said that we're going to reevaluate having pass interference calls reviewed.
That's a good point too. 'Cause I got a text earlier from Adam
It's good
Schefter.
management skills.
He
Just
said,
brush it under the rug. Everybody will forget about it eventually. Hope
had
for a crazy call in the Super Bowl that everybody forgets about it.
You got a text from who?
I didn't. It was Adam Schefter. He was saying he's just Mr.
I was like,
I got a text
okay.
today from somebody about blah blah blah.
He texted Tyler.
He's the insider who is my insider, so it kind of works out. Thanks.
He's
Adam,
been
for helping me
begging to
out.
come on the show, but
Yeah.
we get a pretty full
He's kind of needy. Stage 5 Klinger. It's just once you have him
get it.
on,
I get it.
It's tough to let him go.
He's
Anyway,
like 5'6".
he did say that the NFL though was exploring to challenge refs calls, but if you challenge and you're wrong, you get additional, like you get a penalty. I guess whichever way that works, offense, defense. You get so if
It'd be
you
like
interesting
additional
because
yards tacked
that
on.
was a no call. So like it'd be interesting to see what the coach would
15 yards
how they
from
would
the
do
spot
that
of
and
the
just
foul.
be like, I'm going to throw the flag saying that should have. That one was so blatant.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean
it's a lot easier to challenge a call and say, hey, that call should not have been a call.
Yeah.
It's different to challenge a no call and be like, there should have been.
yeah, and you get and then the proof is on you essentially to prove like
Yeah.
the column on it, which is tough because it
Which,
has
like-
to be
'cause like you said-
indisputable. You have to be able to
Yeah, like you
determine.
said last episode, like this one was so egregious, but do we really need to be changing rules
Right.
for the entire NFL over something that happens every 3 years or whatever?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it may be only limited to the playoffs. Maybe limited to like playoffs under 2 minutes. You get like to challenge like something like even something so little and so small when it really truly matters to that point.
I could see that.
I liked. I think it was Will that said it last week about having or maybe it was Tyler about having like I think it was David.
Could have been our intern.
I'll work my way through the cast members.
It was me.
But yeah, having an additional ref in the booth that can override the on-field refs because the 4 or 5 times a year where there was something that egregious. I mean, there were however many people watched the NFC Championship, 30 million people at home being like, that was pass interference. Yeah. That there should, you could have a ref in the booth to be like, that was pass interference.
Seriously. Like, yep, that was it.
Yeah.
Over the flag.
Y'all done goofed.
Yeah. Yeah, but I thought that was an interesting approach to it to say, okay, that way you're not, challenging a call willy-nilly or having to or slowing down the game is actually, if you're going to throw that out there, you better be damn sure ready to accept like a 15-yard penalty, essentially. If you're wrong. If the rule in the field isn't overturned as far as it is as a penalty goes.
I wouldn't hate that rule.
I wouldn't hate that either. And I think still, like you were saying, limit it to a very, like, under 2 minutes for certain games or whatever, to where it's not just all over the place. Because no one cares. Like, for instance, like 2 bottom dweller teams like the Titans and Jaguars, when they were playing in London,
Titans,
don't
okay. I thought you were going to say in the Super Bowl. First of all, in the same division,
I'm just
so they
taking
can never play in
shots.
the Super Bowl.
But anyway, that's my spiel on that. What else we got?
What was the Panthers record this
Tyler's
year?
got to go get his food.
Horrible. No, it's okay. It'll be okay. I'll call them and let them know. Where was I going to go with that? I thought something came
Titans
to mind.
were 9-7. Just saying.
Will Rob Gronkowski retire after the game?
Ooh. If the Patriots win,
they
I
win,
can see that.
maybe.
To start his career in the WWE, he's going to fight John Cena.
And
or wrestle
lose.
John
That would be
Cena,
the best move he could
battle
possibly
John
make.
Cena, whatever words
Bout.
the WWE uses.
Yeah.
Will the CBS broadcast mention the point spread or the total during the game?
Do you know the point spread?
Are they allowed to?
Or the favorite? Patriots are favored by 2.
I think they mention it usually, sometimes.
Dude,
I know Brett Musburger used to talk about it a lot in like a very
a roundabout.
way. Yeah.
Are you not allowed to?
I don't know. I don't think they're supposed to like really acknowledge
Encourage.
it, but there'll be games where like a team backdoor covers with like a garbage touchdown and garbage time, and Brett Musburger was always kind of famous for being like, "Oh, there's a lot of folks in the desert that aren't happy about that," and just
clever.
like
If I was
the
a
way we
betting
say
man,
like the big game,
Yeah.
they call Vegas like the desert. Yeah,
and
Okay,
I put
can see
2 fish in, I'd probably get 4 fish back.
yeah. There you go,
Dude, Super Bowl winner and the S&P 500 market close on February. Like plus that. So the Patriots win and the S&P closes above the previous close.
That's a prop bet?
Yeah.
Wow.
Will James Harden streak or the Super Bowl, which will finish first?
What is James Harden's streak? So many
30
points
per game.
That's
30
how-
points per game.
Mm-hmm. Basketball's a trash sport anyway.
What color liquid will be
Shout out
poured on the
Brent
winning
Johnson.
coach?
Wait, what?
What color liquid will be poured on the winning
Orange.
coach?
Yellow.
Orange. It's always orange
Yellow.
Gatorade. No, it's orange.
Orange.
Just give me orange.
I'm calling yellow.
Yeah, orange is a
Think
safe
the
bet.
orange Gatorade with Sean McVay's hair. That'd be kind of a neat thing to see.
Does he have certain hair?
Are
He
you
has red
assuming
hair.
that Sean
Sean
McVay's gonna
McVay?
win?
Sean McVay is like a total ginger.
Yeah,
Will
dude,
the winning
really?
team
Yeah.
visit the White House?
Ooh.
If it is
They
the
will
Patriots,
decline
yes.
the offer.
The Patriots will, the Rams will not.
That makes sense.
We're bringing back like the Lakers-Celtics rivalry of the 70s.
Will the roof for
Okay.
Mercedes-Benz
In terms of, like,
Stadium
the
be
dynamic
open for
of each
kickoff?
team?
No.
No.
Have they already said that?
No, but
but
that's
they
a hard
definitely
no.
won't. Tyler and I took a tour of the
It's too
stadium
cold.
and said they only open it if there is an absolute 0%
chance.
chance of rain, and even then with the actual Super Bowl, I can't imagine anybody would ever greenlight
Yeah.
that.
And they say that like when you open it, it is such a noticeable drop in difference in environment and just the temperature of the stadium. They said they're just
Man, place your bets, people.
they said when they open it,
Yeah,
it
that's
gets,
that's easy money. You
because they
bet
said
know.
in the summer it gets so hot when you open it, like it feels like you're outside. So I just don't see them willing to do that.
Here's a
with
goofy,
how cold it is
goofy
right
thing
now.
that I think maybe Tyler told me, but the Rams are practicing at Flowery Branch, all the
Yeah.
way in Gwinnett County, where the
That's where the Falcons practice.
Falcons
Yeah.
practice. The Patriots are practicing at Tech's campus. That seems like a built-in advantage.
Yeah, it's
Does
cool.
it not?
They're staying in the Westin.
Yeah, they're staying in the Westin and
They have
Midtown,
an-
so they can
wait,
walk
does-
across the street.
Does
The Rams
Flowery
are,
Branch have an indoor practice facility?
I would imagine so if the Falcons, but it's not about indoor outdoor. It's about the fact that the Rams are staying in the JW Marriott next to Lennox,
Right
and
across
they're
the
having
road
to
here.
bus
Yeah.
up 25, 30 miles.
Yeah.
I don't
to
think it's
practice.
I don't know
Big
that's going to play
advantage.
into it. If anything, they're playing on the same organization's practice field. So I would imagine they probably would have had the exact same
that's
turf.
true. Tech's practice field probably sucks based on the fact that Tech
Tech.
sucks.
They don't have
Facilities
any
are
stuff.
probably
Yeah.
nicer. Flowery Branch. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm thinking that there's more congruity.
Continuity.
Continuity. Congruent.
Congruency.
Congruent is that's
Currency.
That's
Congruent. I don't know. It's probably more similar.
geometry, right?
I don't know.
equal
Continuity.
size
But
circles.
like Jimmy said, it is kind of cool. I was walking around the great mall we have here next door to us, Linux, and the Rams
Getting
are
your mall
staying-
steps in.
Essentially, I had my
Power
sneakers
walking.
on, just moving around with the old
Tyler
blue,
and I mall walk on
with the
Sunday
with the blue
mornings.
hairs and our tennis shoes.
Nice.
But the JW Marriott is just wrapped in Ram stuff. It's like Welcome Ram, Super Bowl 53,
That's
like
so
LA
cool.
Ram. I was driving by like that is sharp. Like Todd Gurley is like,
You know-
and all the guys are just sitting there.
Dude, he
hanging
looked
out,
he looked
just
like the
getting ready.
man at the media day.
Dude, I know he
looked
so
like a
fun.
freaking man.
He walks in so loose and just like
And
he's having
that
a good time.
Instagram he post he had, where it was like split down the middle, half his
That was
uniform was
cool.
Rams, half was Georgia,
Yeah.
he
And it
just
was cool that he's wearing
Bulldogs.
the 3 was in Georgia font because he was number 3 at
Yeah.
Georgia,
And
and then
the
the
0
0 was in Rams, and then it made it
Smart.
30, which is his Rams number. It's pretty
It was so
clever. I think
freaking
CC
cool.
Bailey designed that edit. So shout out CC.
Did she really?
I don't know, maybe she used to
Just
work for
a-
the athletic
okay.
department at
An
Georgia.
easy look he pitch.
Okay, yeah.
There you go.
What's up, CC?
Yeah, we'll tweet out her contact info if you need any Instagram edits done.
Yeah.
We're gonna
does
need
good
to
work.
start screening the promo material now we're bringing onto the show.
Speaking of, if this next segment is brought to you by Blockbuster, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. This is going downhill. I'm going downhill.
Tyler's
Awesome.
hungry. He's
I'm
got
hungry.
some food waiting.
Yeah, I
on him.
ordered Doc Shays.
He wants
Shout
to
out
get out
Doc
of here.
Shays. I'm picking up
Yeah.
8:15
Apparently,
right now.
I was late. Made everybody late by getting here.
We
20
were
minutes before
we were on the
normally
verge of
start,
starting
so-
without you.
Sorry,
We
guys.
were going to say, Jimmy isn't here, our fallen comrade, but we have left a mic and computer in his place
Yeah,
too.
didn't realize we were starting 20 minutes early today. Nobody told me.
It's not 20 minutes early.
That beer was going to have better
Was it?
insights anyway.
No. All right. Well, we want to say thanks to everybody out there for joining us, listening. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. You can find us on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify. Once again, it's been a pleasure. So until next time, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Shout out Ed Freeman State Farm.